Hi, hello and welcome back to F1 Challenge VB. My name is Mephisto and our journey through the history of Formula 1 continues today with the 7th round of the 1967 season, the German Grand Prix. It was held on the 6th of August at the Nordschleife circuit. It had 26 entries, 25 of them took part in the race with 14 ending up retiring. The race consisted of 15 laps completed in 2 hours, 5 minutes and 55 seconds. Jim Clark started the race from pole but retired on lap 5 with a broken suspension. Holm started from second. Stewart was third on the grid but retired on lap 6 with a broken differential. Gurney started 4th and retired on lap 13 with a broken half shaft. Bruce McLaren was 5th on the grid but retired on lap 4 with an oil leak. And John Surtees started the race from 6th. With Clark out of the way, Holm took the lead and won the German Grand Prix from Jack Brabham, who climbed from 7th into 2nd. He was 38.5 seconds behind Holm. Eamon moved from 8th to 3rd and was 29 seconds down. Surtees climbed from 6th to 4th. He was 2 minutes 24.7 seconds behind. Jackie Oliver started the race from 19th but moved up into 5th. He was 5 minutes 30.7 seconds behind. And Joe Bonnier, who started the race from 16th, rounded off the top 6. He was 8 minutes 42.1 seconds behind the leader. Dan Gurney was the fastest man of the race, posting a time of 8 minutes 15.1 seconds on lap 6. Greetings from the fantastic Nordschleife circuit, where a lap starts off with a long sprint down into turn 1, a tight left-hander, followed immediately by turn 2, a tight right-hand hairpin, with a bit of a camber to it. This brings us onto a long straightaway ending with turn 3, a medium-speed left-hander. Later on we come into a medium-speed blind right-hander. Be extremely careful through here as you could end up hitting the foot of the bridge on corner exit. Later still we come through a tight left-hander that crosses a bridge, so be careful. A couple of corners later we come through another tight left-hander that also crosses a small bridge. Once again be mindful of that. This is followed by a slow blind right-hander that goes up a hill. Take it easy and don't use too much power on corner exit. Eventually we make our way into one of the most iconic corners in motorsports, the Carousel. Slow down the car and feed it through the bowl. Be patient and you should be fine. Further along we come into the mini carousel. This corner can be taken at a higher speed than the actual carousel, but you should still be very careful. This leads into a long right-hander that brings us onto the longest straight in Formula 1, which ends with what used to be a flat-out left-right sweeper but was turned into a tight left-right chicane, so be very careful when approaching this corner. Lastly we come through a fast left-hand sweeper that brings us around onto the main straight, and that is a lap around the Nordschleife circuit. And here we are in qualifying for the German Grand Prix, coming through this left-hander where I kinda clipped the curb there, which flips my car upside down, and well, that's pretty much it for qualifying. Unfortunately, we didn't even manage to post in a lap, which is kind of, well, a waste of time, I guess, but that is that. As we take a look at a few shots from this, well, let's say modernized Nordschleife circuit. It's been resurfaced and ready to go for 1967, so hopefully things will go well around here. We just saw the previous Grand Prix winners and we are about to take a look at the grid lineup, where we have Chris Amon in pole with Graham Hill in second, Dan Gurney third, 4th is Jack Brabham, 5th Jackie Stewart, and Jim Clark rounding off the top 6. Then in 7th we have Pedro Rodriguez, followed by Mike Spence in 8th. In 9th we have John Surtees, followed by John Love in 10th. In 11th we have Chris Irwin, followed by Denny Holm in 12th. Then in 13th we have Mike Parks, followed by Joe Bonnier in 14th. In 15th we have Joe Siffert. David Hobbs is 16th. 17th Guy Ligier, Bruce McLaren 18th. 19th is Jochen Rindt, followed by Bob Anderson in 20th, who obviously isn't in the race, but unlike with Lorenzo Bandini, I couldn't get rid of him. Anyway, Jackie X is 21st, 22nd is Epivaitzes, Piers Courage 23rd, Silvio Moser is 24th, Al Pease 25th, 26th, Gavin, Lucky Botha 27th, 28th Dave Charlton, 29th Beltois, 30th Mike Fisher, 31st Jonathan Williams, and 32nd is Andy Higgs. So that is the grid lineup for the German Grand Prix. Again, with a modernized and resurfaced circuit. although I think it's a little bit too modern for 1967, but that's probably me. I don't really think the building on the left was there yet, but anyway, we are off, and it's kind of a slow start for everyone really as we race down towards turn 1. Here trying to be careful not to crash into Beltois or anyone else for that matter. I try to go on the outside here, and that works out quite well. So we are now in 31st. However, Beltois manages to overtake us on the outside through the hairpin, so we now drag back into last place. However, I'm pretty sure we'll be able to gain a couple of positions on the straightaway going into turn 3 here, and we pass Beltois. We're about to overtake Mike Fisher as well for 30th, so that would be nice. However, I brake a little bit early, being overly cautious, but that's the nature of the game, I guess, especially here on the Nordschleife. You want to be as careful as possible at any time, and we already have a couple of cars turned upside down as we take a look at the replay of the start. Again, a bit slow on my end, but then again I didn't lose too much since everyone was quite slow overall as we are scrambling for positions as we go into turn 1. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to gain many positions, well, almost none except for that single one, and now I'm talking nonsense. But yeah, obviously this race is very long, so I'm sure we'll be able to gain a lot of positions as yeah, this is another one of those races where a lot of weird things happen and most people retire, so I guess cue the music. What else can you do? And most of the retirement will happen in the same corner because yeah, the game doesn't have any imagination or something, I don't know. I really don't know, but this corner is the one that's going to be the end of pretty much everyone on the circuit in the race, so yeah, I don't really know what to say about any of this. It looks like they're trying to climb up the hill there. That's more than just trying to clip the apex, that's, well, trying to cut the corner, but obviously you can't really cut the corner when you have a hill right after the curb. So, I don't know. Yeah, this goes on and on and on and on. And for some reason they're not even in order. I put them in the order the game said these retirements took place in, which obviously isn't the correct order because some things already happened when other things didn't for whatever reason. And when you have so many retirements and all of them taking place at the same area in the same corner, it's kind of hard to sort them out, so I just left it the way the game thought things happened, I guess. Whatever, right? I don't know, things happening. Yeah, look at that, both Matra drivers retired one after the other, which is quite nice. And in fact, I think all three of the French drivers retired pretty much at the same time, so whatever, I guess. Because you saw that was a pretty good shot of what a big pile up there was. And here is a weird replay of I don't know how that happened, but he somehow managed to flip his car out of the carousel and off the circuit. Here I sped up the footage a bit, although it doesn't really feel like sped up since it's kind of a low. Here you can see it, and eventually he crashes into a sign there. But back to our favorite corner now, and the retirements continue because of course they do. And Apophis kind of glitches through this barrier, and that's where he'll be for the rest of the race, in fact. Glitching out and even causing a couple of accidents somehow. Well, somehow. glitching in and out of the wall. That's how. Oh boy. Yeah, this was one interesting little race. Ooh! A retirement that didn't happen through that same corner. Fancy that. And another retirement that didn't happen through that exact same corner. But now back to our favorite corner again, because consistency, I guess, for lack of a better term, I guess, I don't know. Yeah, this is the German Grand Prix, everyone. Hope you enjoy it. I really don't I don't know what I was about to say there. Yeah, I really don't know what to commentate on this. It's well, you can see it for yourselves. It's quite weird. Yeah, that's that. Oh, and finally I retired as well. This was on lap 2. I tried to brake for this chicane, however my car didn't want to slow down in time, so I flipped the car, and that's the end of my race as well. So, and here comes Silvio Moser through the chicane, and for some reason crashes into my car. I don't know how he couldn't see my car, but that is that. And at the end of lap 2 we see Graham Hill coming around to post the fastest lap and a new track record. And since this is a new layout for the circuit, even though it's just one corner that's been changed, it does count as a new fastest lap, even though it's actually much slower than my my track record set in 1964 in the Honda. So yeah, one small corner means a completely new track record. And there we saw Brabham crashing out of the lead of the race, actually. So yeah. And we still have even more retirements. Actually, starting from Brabham, these are all retirements on the final lap. So at least these guys will be classified as finishers and even game, get some points. But on the whole, they're still retirements, I guess. So yeah, that was that. And here we are at the end of the race, as we take a look at Graham Hill crossing the line to win the German Grand Prix. So congratulations to him. Jackie Hicks second, Rindt third, fourth Dave Charlton, and I didn't catch the rest as we take a look at the retirements. A lot of people retired. So yeah, that was the German Grand Prix. Quite an interesting race here. So I really don't know what to say. You saw it for yourselves, so I guess you can draw your own conclusions. So let's move on then. And here are the career statistics. This was Andy's 157th Grand Prix. His best start is from first, has 16 pole positions, has set 29 fastest laps. His best finishes in first, has completed 99 races, 76 of them in the points, has won 44 Grand Prix, 4 at the Indianapolis 500, 6 in Monaco, has 8 championships under his belt, has scored a total of 517 points, has retired 58 times, has experienced 3,305 out of 4,099 laps, has 7 bronze trophies, 16 silver trophies, 44 gold trophies, and as an extension 44 podiums. And here is a quick look at the championship standings. Graham Hill takes the lead of the driver standings with Chris Irwin in second, Brabham third, fourth, Pedro Rodriguez, David Hobbs fifth, Jackie Stewart, Chris Amon, Jim Clark, and Mike Spence sharing sixth, Andy Higgs in 22nd. The last person with points is Guy Ligier in 23rd, and bringing up the bottom of the driver standings is Al Pease down in 37th. So that is pretty much for the drivers. Let's now move on to the constructors, where we have Team Lotus taking the lead with Rick Parnell in second, Brabham third, Cooper and Owen Racing sharing fourth, Scuderia Ferrari 6th. The last team with points are Guy Ligier in 12th, and bringing up the bottom of the constructors are Castrol Oils Limited down in 23rd. So that was the German Grand Prix. Quite an odd little race, especially since most of the retirements happened in the exact same corner, although when these mass retirements happen, they usually take place in the same corner, or in the same fashion, so what can I say other than weird? And obviously I'm a bit disappointed that I retired as well, and I'm not quite sure what happened. On the first lap I managed to slow the car down pretty well for the chicane. Not quite sure what happened there on lap 2. I used the exact same braking point, and was braking using the exact same brake pressure, so not quite sure what happened there. And I didn't run out of brake pads, so your guess is as good as mine, I guess. But anyway, our next race is a new race in the championship, the Canadian Grand Prix. This isn't the first time the Canadian Grand Prix was held, but it is the first time it was held as part of the Formula 1 World Championship, so that's going to be quite interesting. I'm looking forward to it. It's quite a fun little circuit, so hopefully things will go a little bit better over there, but we'll have to see. Anyway, that is the end of this video. Don't forget to vote for next season's team, link is in the description. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, stay sharp.